Hello and what is going on, guys? Today I have episode 5 of making 1 billion in Runescape 3, where I'll show you how easy it is to make some money to get those expensive upgrades you've been slaving to get. Speaking of which, if you haven't already, check out my range and melee gearing guide so you can get up to date with my take on how you should invest your GP to upgrade your account. Just want to give out a massive thank you to everyone who's shown love and support on the channel and in game. You've all been amazing and we're closing in on 1,000 subscribers, which is incredible. This means that I can start dishing out polls to you guys so I can see what kind of content you want to see. So if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, it will mean a ton and I've got loads of content to dish out for yous. That being said, in today's episode we focus on elite dungeons, necks and a bit of Araxxi, all fantastic ways to make a quick buck. Also we were able to get closer to figuring out the bug which insta-kills Araxxi on P4, so if you want to see that, stick around. So lately I've been really enjoying necks and it's been a ton of fun trying to get my average kill times down. So let's kick things off with an hour. For any of you wondering, on screen now will be the preset that I personally use for necks. As always, you want to make sure that you use an Armadillo book here to maximise your damage output whilst being really cheap compared to a Scrim and Grim. Another massive thing you can do is to switch bolts throughout the fight. As Hydrox bolts are so pricey, I personally use Onyx and Rubies, using Ruby bolts on Smoke, Shadow and Blood phase to do amazing damage to necks whenever you get a proc, and swapping to Onyx bolts after Blood and for all of the minions to give myself a good chance of one-shotting them. Don't think you aren't going to make money by using these bolts in an Armadillo book. These will make your kills a lot smoother overall and give you more kills in the hour, effectively paying for themselves. One of the biggest things when getting into high level PVM is not being stingy on your resources. You've got to spend money to make money. I know at first it can be very daunting investing loads of money in consumable items, but what you've got to remember is at the higher end of the game, you make so much more money than you do on your start of your journey, so they're definitely worth using. For anyone that's planning on camping necks, I can't recommend more making sure you do the Ritual of the Majorat quest. This enables you to get the Glacore boost by teleporting to the Glacore cave, which gives you tons of boosts throughout the game into your damage multiplier, but at necks specifically it will give you a 5% damage boost. This is a huge increase, bigger than getting a tier 92 in itself, and it's free, so you can't really go wrong. Nice, we've got a set of Onyx bolts. I can't believe how much these still are, but they're always going to be this price because they maintain no alch value. For those of you unaware, you don't want to be selling items that alch for more than they sell in the Grand Exchange. Make sure you put these in your auto alchers in your invention guild. If you don't know how to do this, I have a guide on the channel, so check that out. Man, the Ruby Bolt procs alongside the Armadillo book special literally does so much damage and is such a carry. Also on Smoke phase, she can drag you in, so if you want to prevent this, all you want to do is anticipate just before she is attackable when she says Glacies. If you don't have an Eldritch Crossbow, you can do it on the very last minion. Also, to make this 100% effective, you want to get yourself a clear-headed force switch to extend your stun immunity. Okay, how did that drag me in? I was nowhere near it. Another quick thing I've realised is to not use target cycle here. It's just too inconsistent and can cause you pain in the long run. Just click on necks and the minions to ensure you don't get cucked over. There are a few ways you can deal with getting ice prisoned. You can either anticipate before she does it to avoid the stun, or you can freedom once stunned and then use a power burst of vitality to double your hit points to help mitigate the damage. If you're struggling to do damage, you can actually use reprisal. It's relatively cheap nowadays, and it will give you a free 7,000 damage onto necks. Also, if you phase necks and you're near Glacies and you get prisoned, you can actually target cycle and continue attacking Glacies while even in the prison. Clicking in this case does not work. No way, bro. I said at the start of this series I wouldn't get any Torva because I'm so lucky with it. Well, I was wrong. That's the second Torva full helm and it's going to look sick in the loot tab. So for anyone who went back to necks with greater ricochet and an ECB, for shadow phase you want to phase necks with a frag shot and then run through her and surge through the middle like I do. Then your ECB spec and click on necks to force an auto attack and then simply debow and follow this up with a snipe. This will normally kill the entire phase and let you get on the minion, but worst case scenario you just have to finish it off with a dazing shot. Remember, you always want to be saving your ricochet for the minions. Do not be using it on necks until the last phase. You want it for the minions. Nice, we just got a 135. We're getting back in the swing of things. And if you guys would want an in-depth necks guide with all of the tips I'm adding in here, but also accommodating to people without the best in slot gear, let me know in the description below and I'll work on that to get it out for you guys. It's a great boss to do at the moment. At a lower level you're going to be making upwards of 20 mil an hour, and at a higher level you can make almost 40 million an hour, so it's definitely worth doing just to kill some time, especially when you can't find any friends online to do some group bosses. Nice, another set of Onyx bolts. No way, grimy dwarfweeds are over 1 mil. I think they're used for Vuln bombs and that's why the price is so high, but that's crazy. They literally used to be a few 100k. A lot of people that do this boss with an Eldritch don't really understand how to stay alive while using Soul Split the entire fight without getting any heals. Basically, as a rule of thumb, you always want to be spamming your blubbers and your Guthix rests. You don't want to be using Saradomin brews because you splash enough as it is. But the real clutch comes in when you have Disruption Shield. It's incredible on the last phase because she can hit up to like 5,000, and you also use it before the fight even starts to just mitigate any damage at the start. Disruption Shield is literally going to be your best friend at every single boss you do in the game, so get your hands on it as soon as you can. You can get it from the merchant over the course of a few months if you get lucky, so definitely grab that. It's one of your best tools for PvM. Nice, we get to pick our Reaper, so I'm going to pick Araxxi and go kill it and see how we can do. I have one spider leg in the bank, we're going to need another two. I think I have a bottom piece, so we can get the middle one with a rotation at the moment. Unfortunately, it isn't 1-2 for another 3 resets, so we're going to have to wait for that. But Araxxi's fun and I haven't done it in a while. It will help me get in a swing of PvM again, so let's see how it goes. So unfortunately, I forgot to extend my aura. I was able to get the 8 kills in 30 minutes doing middle path. So doing middle path, which is the slowest, you can get 16 kills an hour, which if any of you weren't aware is literally 46 million GP an hour when you do Araxxi overtime. So for those of you that thought Araxxi was dead content and you can't make that much money, it is insane. It's 46 mil for a relatively easy boss. So definitely be doing your Reapers here or go camp it if you want. So me and one of my buddies, we're going to do some Elite Dungeon 2. I'm missing Barge and the pet for the log, so hopefully we get lucky and can tick one of them off. This dungeon ain't the greatest GP an hour compared to Elite Dungeon 1 and 3, which are absolutely insane. But it's fun and you don't need an aura to do it, so 3 aura refreshes, which are great, so let's do this. Legit, Asalan is the hardest boss in this dungeon in terms of KO potential, because a neutron star can literally spawn on top of you and insta-KO you, and the rain with the high hitting mage attacks can be a pain. No luck on this one anyways. Also, if you didn't know, at the end where you can stand in a white light, your damage is massively boosted, so in a Death Swiftness or any other ultimate, with a Dragon Slayer sigil and perk, you can literally destroy the end phase, especially in a duo. This is probably the easiest dungeon to do out of the 3, so if you were getting into PvM, I'd recommend coming here to learn some of the basics. It's a great place to start out. There's another Varric kill. Fun fact, you can take less damage if you stand in melee distance and protect from melee. And you can actually Disruption Shield the bombs that it drops if you wait for them to land and use Disruption Shield just as they're about to hit you. Make sure to time this so that you ain't going to get your Disruption Shield sniped while one of Varric hits. But if you do this properly, you don't have to worry about running into any of the eggs and you can just focus on damaging it down. Man, only 1 energy. Yeah, the drop rates really take a hit in groups at EDs. Also, anyone else hate the smoke that he drops when he flies about? It's just an annoying time gate and in my opinion with a lot of randomness making it ridiculously annoying. So we've done a few more runs just messing about and having a laugh. It's pretty late as well, so we're just chilling. We made 8.9 mil that hour and got a rare relic, which is pretty nice. Unfortunately, we didn't get any splits from any codexes, so we ain't going to be making a ton. But that's to be expected. You're only going to get them over time, so you've got to pretty much grind the boss out to get your return. So to keep things fresh, every once in a while I like to do what I call a Massacre Run. And basically it's where 1 or 2 of your friends go through a dungeon together and kill absolutely everything in the dungeon, all the side rooms, all the mini bosses, the lot. And whoever gets the most loot wins everything. If you're getting burnt out and set little challenges like this with your pals to keep things fresh, it can really motivate you to play the game. Remember, it's just a game at the end of the day and you don't have to be trying all the time to regress your account. Unless you lose, which I never lose, so good luck, Colin. So we just finished up and I beat him with 1.9 mil, so GG, easy 1.5 mil for the tab. He did scam me though and didn't give me the relics. To be honest, I'd happily sit there and watch him alch all of them so I can get more profit. But you can't win them all, so let's see what we're going to do next. So a big tip so that you don't have to waste time disassembling items for hours whenever you need them is to use your Invention Disassembler Mark II machines. Just chuck the items in that you feel like you always disassemble for basic and uncommon components. For example, unpowered orbs for clear parts to get your equipment separators. And this way you can make it so that you don't have to waste time doing it in the future. It's not fun to do and it's relatively boring, so definitely make sure you have at least one of these going at all times. Okay, so ages ago I sold my main hand Blightbound because they skyrocketed a ton and I didn't want to lose any money on it. But I never bought my Ascension back. So for them ED2 runs that I just done, I had to use chins as my needle swap, which absolutely sucks. So I'm going to buy another Ascension crossbow and just put size 6 on it for now. Nice, here we go, a spider leg middle, that's 2 out of the 3 in the bank. But I'm really enjoying this, so I'm going to keep slaving away, and hopefully we can get even more, or even a scythe. I do need the web to finish the log, so I'll be happy with that as well. A huge tip for the last phase is to use Power Burst of Vitalities to reduce a ton of the incoming damage. At 300% I can literally camp Soul Split using this and Disruption Shield, and legit kill the boss in 4 to 5 abilities without having to use a dummy or Hydrix bolts. All you do is Disruption Shield, ECB spec, Greater Ricochet into a Serengod bow spec. You want to have your Ruby bolts on when you do the SGB spec, because if that procs, it will pretty much kill it by itself. Then you want to use Snap and Rapid, and if you have a Vitality Potion, you want to use it as you're rapid firing, and 9 times out of 10 this kills it. If not, you just finish it off with a Greater Ricochet. Another big thing as well that you want to make sure you have, a player-owned farm. If you have 2 Elder Spiders in each of your medium pens, you actually get a bonus 3% damage against Araxxi, and it's actually huge, so definitely get that. So now I'm going to show you the Insta-Kill on Phase 4. This is actually a bug, and there is a bounty out at the moment for 250 mil for anyone that's able to replicate this. This is in the PVME Discord if you want to check that out. Everyone believed that it was to do with getting an aftershock or crackling to proc as the boss is dying on P3 so that it carries over into the cutscene. But from doing a lot of vigorous testing, I actually found that it seems to be the bleed from mutated dazing shot that carries over that actually kills it. And if you can see a tick of bleed damage go into the cutscene, that is actually what finishes it off. The best way that I found to replicate this is actually by making sure that the boss ends on an ECB hit. This enables you to send out a dazing shot as it's already dead, and this gives you the best odds of hitting it with that bleed from the dazing shot on the tick. It's not easy to replicate, so just keep trying it and eventually you'll get it, and it's really cool to get to. I was able to get this twice in one night, and so was my buddy, so I feel like this is a great step into finding out how to replicate this. There we go, there's a set of Pernix chaps, finally something different from Torva, and that's still a nice chunk of change in the bank. It also looks sick in the loot tab. I really am loving the amount of variety we actually have in here, from Clues to Araxxi to Next to Slayer. It's looking pretty sick, and we are closing in on that 1 bill mark, so probably 1 to 2 more episodes and we should hit it. So there's actually a lot of content that you guys haven't seen. There's about 5 more hours of Next and about 6 hours of Araxxi. We didn't get anything significant, so I haven't included them clips in the video because I don't want to bore you guys. I hope you guys are enjoying the series, and please remember the whole point of this series is so that I can improve my recording and editing skills so that all of the content that I bring to you in the future can be the best that it possibly can. So if you have any feedback in ways that you think I can improve the content on the channel, please drop it in the comments section down below. Whether it's constructive or not, it all helps. Also, if you have any guides that you'd like me to cover on the channel, any series ideas, any recommendation, then feel free to let me know down below. Thank you for watching, and as I said at the start, thank you so much for the support and love. It really has been great being able to produce content that you guys actually find useful. We're closing in on 1,000 subs, which is absolutely insane. So if you're enjoying the guides and content, hit the sub, and I promise you, you won't regret it. Thank you for watching.